Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller. And, you know, we've talked about Warrior's Heart on the program many times. Just a great organization based in San Antonio. And basically warriors, healing warriors, do such a great job. And somebody that we have on today to tell you more about that, Cassandra Porter. She's a Air Force veteran. She's Warrior's Heart Marketing Director, and she joins us here in the National Defense. Cassandra, how are you?
I'm great, Randy. It's good to be here. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, it's great to have you here. We love talking about Warrior's Heart, and we've had a lot of people on from there. But I want to start with your military background. How did you come to go into the Air Force, and how was it?
Yes. So basically, I was 22 years old. I had dropped out of college just because I really didn't want to spend all that money and not know what I wanted to do with my degree. I met a lot of people when I was waitressing and stuff that had degrees that weren't using them. So I was like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yes, there is. And I was working in downtown Charleston in South Carolina, a big tourist city. And I just saw it as I'm working in the restaurant business. I'm like, this is kind of like a black hole. I dropped out of college. I'm like, I need to figure out something. And I don't really know what brought military to mind, but I started researching and the Air Force seemed to suit me best. And I remember I reached out to a recruiter and, I told him I was considering joining, and they said they were only recruiting for battlefield airmen, which at the time was only for men, and linguists, cryptologic linguists. And I was like, okay, well, what does linguists do? And they're like, oh, okay, well, you have to take this D lab. We test your ability to learn a language. And then you would basically come in the military and you would go to language school and learn whatever language they give you. And so I was just kind of like, all right, well, if that's the one I can do, that sounds pretty cool.
That sounds very cool, actually.
Right? And so I ended up taking the D Lab, which is this crazy test of like patterns and stuff. You really leave out of it like what just happened. And I ended up passing by 2 points. I needed a 105 and I got a 107.
Wow.
So awesome. And they shipped me off to basic training.
Wow, that is incredible.
Right?
I'm always so interested in what brings people to the military. And there's a billion different answers for that question. But that's very cool. So so you went to language school, and I think you specialized in Farsi. Is that right?
Yes, I did. So I remember when I graduated, I got out and, there weren't many linguists, so I didn't really have many people to talk to about it, but there was a few of us. And I remember them saying like, you're going to go over to, this station and they're going to give you the language that you're going to learn. And so I remember going and they were like, oh, you got Farsi. And I'm like, what is Farsi? Persian Farsi, and they're like, it's the language of Iran. And I still didn't know what to expect. And I remember going back and researching, and I just was like, whoa, I have no idea what I'm about to learn, but let's go for it.
Well, it's always good to have an open mind like that. I would think the same thing if I heard Farsi. I think, are people going to be coming up and talking to me?
Yeah, I had no idea.
I just had no idea. So once you kind of got in there and got the hang of it, how was that?
Yes, so it's extensive. Like linguists we're in training for about a year and a half almost.
Wow.
Language training is about a year. We went out to the Defense Language Institute in Monterrey, California, which is beautiful. It's right on the coast there in California.
Yeah, that's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Yes, it is. And I spent 48 weeks, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day in the classroom learning this language. We had studying to do over the weekends. Like it was a very intense program. And people would drop like flies. And so you're very worried, like, oh my gosh, am I going to make it through? But sure enough, I just committed myself. I spent one day on the weekend, like free time, but on Sunday, I always got back to my studies and I got through it.
Wow.
By the grace of God, I got through it and I passed. The test, at the end, you take a reading and a listening test. and also a speaking test. And you never know coming out of it. Am I going to pass? Am I going to pass? It's very stressful, but I did it. Thank God.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible and so intense. We're talking to Cassandra Porter here on the National Defense Air Force Veteran and Farsi Linguist and Warriors Heart's marketing director. So, okay, so you passed the test, you passed to school, you started doing linguistic stuff. Like what? Give us an example of what kind of like a day-to-day kind of thing in the Air Force.
Yeah, so can't speak on it much because it is like an intelligence.
Oh,
I was
sure.
an intelligence analyst, so it's hard to like figure out what I can and cannot say. But let's just say a lot of
maybe you can just say it in Farsi.
Yeah, right. A lot of transcription, translation. I ended up moving into an analysis and reporting cell, so generating intelligence reports, which was cool. I feel like that kind of like helped my strategic and analysis side of things. And so I spent about 5 years doing that. And then I decided it was kind of time for a change. And I wanted to become an instructor and go back to Goodfellow Air Force Base, which is where our technical training is. So after the language training, we go into the technical training.
Wow.
And we go to Goodfellow in San Angelo for that. So I ended up becoming an instructor and going back out to San Angelo. That's actually what brought me and my family back to Texas, even though I swore I would never come back. And started teaching some of the junior airmen coming through on the technical side of things.
Wow. So when you were translating, I would imagine you were in some pretty secret meetings for those situations, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, now that's another element that maybe you didn't know going in, right?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. So, okay. So then after you were you started instructing, which is, that's pretty incredible too. At first you didn't think you'd pass the test and now you're instructing. And
I know, right?
That's incredible. And so when did you find out about Warriors Heart?
So, there's a little bit of leeway in there. I ended up in 2020, I had my daughter, and I was getting to the point, when you reach like almost 10 years in the military, and I was around 8 years, and I just remember thinking like, okay, I'm going to hit that 10-year mark, and it's either I'm staying in or I'm not.
Right.
And my thing was like, I knew the military, like I always kind of take things as they come and just go with how I'm feeling. Like I didn't want to say, oh, I'm just going to do 4 years or, oh, I'm just going to do 8 years. But so at that time, I just remember thinking like, I want to find something that I'm like truly passionate about and connected to. The military has been great to me. It's gave me so many skills, and, I got 2 degrees out of it and all of that. But I was like I feel ready for something more. That was kind of why I went to be an instructor. But after being in San Angelo for 2 years and having my daughter, I was just kind of like, oh, I'm ready for what's next.
Right.
So I ended up getting out and at 8 years, and I actually went and entered a Master's of Social Work program. And I feel I applied and I got in, and I feel like I was just trying to like keep it going, because I was like, I got to figure it out. I got to figure out what I meant to do, and I tell you what, I got 2 months into that Master's of Social Work program, and I was like, this isn't for me. And I actually had a conversation with my husband because he had a wedding filmmaking business, and I was kind of helping him with his social media and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. And he looked at me one day, he was like, babe, do you really see yourself as a social worker in 5 years? And I was like, no, actually, I don't. And so 2 months in, it was a little scary. I was kind of like, oh, am I really going to do this? Like, I don't want to feel like a quitter. I don't want to look. But I was just like,
listen,
no, this isn't it.
Cassandra, you're as far away from a quitter. I mean, I'm listening to this story. I'm like, who are you? I mean, that is just outstanding. And, not only thank you for your service, but thank you for your continued mission. And it's so funny. We hear that so often here on the show about veterans that want to get back, whether it's Team Rubicon or whoever it happens to be, but they want to continue that mission and continue that service.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that must have been pretty strong in you.
Yes. So when I got out of that social work program, I went all in with my husband. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do your social media. I'm going to handle your marketing, your emails. We launched like a virtual academy forum. Like we did all these different things. And I did that for about 3 years. And I started feeling, I would pass Randolph Air Force Base every day on my way to our office studio. And, I just felt in my heart like a calling to somehow get back to our veteran military population. I was like, I'm learning these skills. What can I do? Is there anything with marketing, like on the base with VA jobs with the VA or anything like that?
Right.
And that's when I started diving in. And that's when I got reached out to by a recruiter. Actually, the couple weeks after I had updated my LinkedIn profile with all my experience. And that's when I found out about Warrior's Heart. And I remember getting the message and they were like, oh, what do you think about this opportunity? It's in Bandera. And I actually live about 60 miles away from here on the northeast side of San Antonio. So I was like,
wow.
oh, that's kind of far. But once I read into the mission behind Warrior's Heart, what they do here, because I had never heard of it.
Sure.
It resonated so close to my heart. I started looking more into it. I was like, this is an addiction treatment center. And then I was like, this is for military and veterans. It almost sounded like my life story because I lost both my parents to alcoholism.
Oh.
So, that's something very near and dear to my heart, like that struggle, that disease. And then also like, the fact that we serve our warrior population here, I just felt called 100,000%. And so
wow.
I just decided to go for it. And that's how I ended up here.
That is exactly where you need to be. If you don't know about Warrior's Heart, it's a 42-day recovery program that helps active duty military veterans and first responders heal and rebuild their lives. And it's done on 2 500-acre ranches that is like a beautiful resort.
Yes, it is. When I came here for a tour, I think it was like my second interview, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt so connected to this mission, seeing how everything here is so unique and tailored to our warriors and just built for them, for their healing. I mean, everything about it is so special. And I remember looking at Michael, my boss, and being like, why don't I see any of this on social media? Like, when I was looking at Warrior Heart, I was like, why am I not seeing this? And everyone I met, like has such a passion for what they do here and such a purpose. And a lot of them are prior law enforcement or military or in recovery. And there's just so much story and purpose and passion here that I was ready to get my hands on all their marketing. So
they're all heroes. They're all heroes. And, to be able to be in your position and help them out. And we're talking about, this is a very comprehensive program, which is detox, inpatient recovery, sober living, aftercare, which is so important. And then some of these treatments that you guys offer with the fishing and hiking and the canine therapy. And I want to talk about the equine because I have horses, and I just know that, and we've talked to other people that have gone through the equine programs, but for my money, there's just no better way to calm yourself down than being with a beautiful animal that couldn't care less how you feel. And, it's just one of those things where, and I've seen it happen a lot in my life where, you can't lie to an animal. You can't lie to a horse. I mean, they're going to know if you're uptight, if you're strung out, if you're whatever it is, they're going to know it and they're going to react to it. And I just think that's such a beautiful thing.
Yes, it absolutely is. The different programs we offer here, I mean, it just kind of blows my mind, like the equine, the canine program. There's things about it that like I want to make sure is known, because it's okay. Yes, you go and you can help train a service animal, but like you also learn those skills. Or like, yeah, you can go in wood or metal shop and create a flag or an art piece, but you're learning skills. You're learning so many different things here through our programs that the warriors can take home with them. And maybe, either they continue to do those skills as hobbies or they turn them into businesses. And it's just, I don't know, everything is it's so tailored to our warriors. It teaches them so much. They get to work with their hands. They get to learn skills and take them home with them. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, and the part that I love too is it's warriors taking care of warriors, and so that camaraderie is there, that bond is there, that commonality that you have for each other, and of course, we've talked to so many people on the program that have been going through some tough times in their transition or whatever they're going through, and they've contemplated suicide, they've tried suicide, and that is. You can't work any harder toward a mission like that to stop veteran suicides, and it's just it's just devastating. But I mean, the thing that you guys are doing there is how many people do you have, Cassandra, that once they finish the program, they end up coming back and volunteering or working at Warriors Heart?
Oh, many. We have many on our staff, and I know, a lot. I hear a lot of alumni that are, they're trying to make it to that 2 years, because we have a requirement that it's 2 years after your completion date of the program, that you're in recovery, that you can, after those 2 years, you can come apply. And I mean, it truly goes with the warriors healing warriors, and just the fact that, like, hey, we are your population, like we are here for you. We understand, we've been through it, and we're going to help you through it. And that's like it. The warriors healing warriors is a huge important piece for us, and it resonates so well. Thing like with our marketing that I try to get right is just to show that, so that they because like I like to say, like, our population that we serve, they can spot BS like through and through.
Yeah.
And so I'm always like, with our content,
yeah, I'll bet they can. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it has to be real and authentic, and we have to be able to like prove to them that we can help you, because they're also like, nothing's gonna help me. And so every day I'm thinking, how do we get through that, that barrier? Because I know that it's a tough one, but that's just something I take in our marketing strategy that I just think is really important to get through to them, of like, no, we can do it. We can help you. Just allow us to.
And I think it's so important that you recognize too, when you first found out about Warriors Heart, it's like, why haven't I ask that question to so many organizations all the time. Why don't we know you? Why don't we? I mean, because it only works if veterans that need the treatment find out about it, right? And so I think that's an important message. What would you want all of our listeners to know about Warriors Heart and the best way to get in touch with you?
I would just want them to know that, like, I know it's hard. It's hard picking up that 10,000-pound phone that how we like to call it. Like, it's tough. That's a tough thing, to actually pick up that phone and say, hey, I need help, or to actually trust, a treatment, or, think that they're going to be able to help. And I would just say, like, there are really great programs out there. And I just truly believe in Warriors Heart and everything that we are doing for our active duty military veterans and law enforcement. and first responders. Like, I just truly believe in this program. It's so tailored for them. It's not a hospital setting. Like, it's the complete opposite. So I would just want them to really know that, and to try, and to just try, just pick up that phone and ask for help. And then our number that they can call is 866-955-4035. That'll lead them straight to our admissions advocates, and our admissions advocates are really amazing at helping our warriors. They will help you every step of the way to find the help and the treatment that you need.
And I would imagine first point of contact, very, very important, obviously.
Yeah, 100.
And just to let everybody know what kind of numbers we're talking about here. Warriors Heart has now served over 3,600 warriors at their two U.S.-based treatment centers, one in San Antonio and one in Virginia. And that's outstanding. And Cassandra, how long have you been with them?
I have been with them about 9 months now. It'll be a year in December.
What a perfect fit you are. I mean, you're great. I mean, your service, your enthusiasm. I mean, Warriors Heart is very lucky to have you, and so I hope you just continue that great work. But hey, it's sure been great talking to you.
Yes, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your kind words, and just thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely, my honor. We'll be right back here in the National Defense.